Hey, howdy, party people. So, we finally got an actual release date for Hytale after 7 very long years. It was looking a little bleak for a while there. It was looking a little not so good. But we finally have one. So the game's coming out on January 13th. That's a little under 50 days away. I think it's 46 as of recording, probably 45 as of uploading. It's unbelievable that it's actually coming out. I mean, it's been so long, and I just remember back in the day, everybody talking about when's the beta? When's the beta gonna happen, guys? And all the delays. Well, I say all the delays. It was really 1-2 delays that were just very large and vague, and like, hey guys, it's not coming out for at least a year or two, maybe more. And everyone just kind of scratching their heads like, oh, that doesn't sound great. But we're here, and it's happening. It's not a beta, per se, as much as it is just an early access, a long-term early access. But who cares what they call it? The game is actually going to be playable in less than 2 months. So they put up a blog post here. We'll go ahead and give that a read. I would just like to mention it's just crazy seeing. It's a whole screen of new blog posts now. I mean, let me get out of the way there. You can see a four blog posts. That's crazy. That's just unbelievable. But here's the newest one here. So yes, January 13th will be the early access release date, which I think is, first off, let's just talk about that for a second. That's a pretty good release date. I think it gives them enough time to polish the game up a little bit. It gives the content creator ecosystem, no bias, some time to kind of catch up and get comfortable and establish itself a little bit before the game releases, and the content machine has to churn out a lot faster at that point, because obviously it's a little bit easier to make content when the game is out rather than just kind of playing around with the screenshots that we get and everything. So I think that the 13th, that's pretty good that way, and again, gives them a lot of time to develop. Honestly, it's so soon, I mean, the game was just barely saved, a week and a half ago? I mean, almost 2 weeks. That's a really fast turnaround. That's unbelievable. And, they've only had actual access to development for a couple more weeks than that. And from the sounds of it, it was not really at a stage where it was just, oh, here's the state we have it in. Here you go. It's more like, oh, here are, I think they said over 300 branches that they had to merge into one of different prototypes and features, which is unbelievable, I believe. I don't know anything about programming. Everybody just says it's pretty crazy, but it sounds crazy. I mean, it seems like they're moving at a really fast pace, but it seems like they're also taking every step that they need to along the way. I think they've got some unbelievable skill behind them. I think this is a really good team. Everything we've seen so far looks good. It's hard not to be hopeful. And I know they're trying to temper our expectations, but I think that's more because some people have really high expectations. I don't know if Simon and the team realize that the bare minimum for a voxel game is still above the average voxel game, because for whatever reason, Minecraft is the best-selling video game of all time by a very, very wide margin, and yet, it has some solid competitors, I guess, but there's, Minecraft up at the top, a handful of, probably less than a dozen decent other voxel games, and then a sea of kind of just half-baked attempts that struggle to get off the ground. To no discredit of their own most of the time, it's just a difficult genre to develop and to keep running. But I think, after playing quite a lot of those games, Hytale really just needs to kind of be good for the vibe and the game feel and the atmosphere, and in the identity. Because that's the big problem a lot of voxel games have, is they just don't have much of an identity. But Hytale has such a strong identity. quite possibly a stronger identity than Minecraft, which I would argue kind of has lost its identity over the years. And I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, but um, January 13th is that's pretty good. I feel confident in what will come out then will be very enjoyable. Just because it's been this long, having anything at all is enjoyable. And I don't have some incredibly high standard in terms of quality or polish. I like a lot of buggy games. The Forest is a good example. I absolutely love The Forest. Played a absolute crap ton of it. And it's a little on the buggy side, and that's part of what makes it fun. It's part of the charm. You can feel that it's a passion project, not some over polished turd. And I think Hytale's going to be much the same way. But without further ado, let's give it a read. Hytale enters early access on January 13th, 2026. And pre-purchase opens on December 13th, 2025. Now that is, as many people have pointed out, that is the 7-year anniversary of the game's original trailer, which I think is very sweet. I think it would be really nice if at some point, maybe not necessarily on that day, but at some point, I would like if they dropped a short trailer. It doesn't have to be some highly cinematic thing, but, just like 35-second little launch trailer, pre-order trailer. I think that'd be nice. I think that would also probably be a good way to get some extra eyes on the game. Though its word is spreading pretty fast. The beacons are lit, just like 2012. If anybody's seen that. 2 weeks ago, we, the original founders, repurchased Hytale months after it was cancelled. We revived the project, and we are returning to a 4-year-old legacy build that had been abandoned. We are personally committing funding for many years to come. 10, if you haven't heard. They have committed to funding the game for 10 years, which is a very, very long time. We stepped away from the newer engine, which was intended to be a complete cross-platform rewrite, and we are now focusing on reviving the original vision. This required picking, choosing, and merging more than 300 GitHub branches into a single working branch. It was a significant engineering effort, but we're now confident enough to launch early access. Hytale and Hypixel Studios are independent again, and we are returning to the original vision for the 2018 trailer. Because we went back to an older game build that was now meant for prototypes, some parts of the game will feel behind, but momentum is strong and we're working fast to make this into the game we all dreamed of. Modding and creative tools are in a decent state, however, they're not where we want them long term. That being said, they're ready for players who want to create content on day one. This is a good moment for modders, server owners, and creators to step in early. They will play a significant role in Hytale's future. Since the cancellation, we've rehired more than 40 former and new team members, bringing the total to 50. Reacquiring a game from a AAA studio and preparing an early access launch within weeks is rare, and players will be able to watch the progress as it happens. If you don't feel comfortable pre-ordering, please don't. This is true early access, meaning it's still very much unfinished and will be buggy for a while, but you have my and the team's commitment to make Hytale the game we always wanted it to be. The first impression will be rough, but the path ahead matters more. More details are coming soon. Follow our social channel for updates, and we hope to see you on January 13th, 2026. Thank you, everyone, for your support. Hytale has been through a long journey, and soon we will be home. Signed, Simon and the entire Hytale team. It's a good little letter. Good little blog post here. I think, again, everything sounds really good so far. Personally, I will be pre-ordering. I believe I'm going to get the $70 Cursebreaker edition, because I just want to support the game, and because this game is just so important to me, and I'm so emotionally invested in it. And, but I think it's extremely cool that you can upgrade later. Really, when you sit down and think about it, $20 versus $70, that's a $50 difference. There better be some nice cosmetics, is all I'm saying. But I'll probably get the $70 one either way, because I'm going to at some point, so I'd rather just get it right away, and it'll be that nice little badge of honor, haha, look at me, I paid a little bit extra, but it's mostly just a given for this game. I would be willing to pay pretty much any price, so if they ask nicely, which they have, yeah, I'll get the $70 edition. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting the $20 edition, especially because you can just upgrade later if you want. If you get 1,000 hours into this game, and you're like, hey, you know what? I just realized I never bought the Cursebreaker edition. I'll throw $50 at it. I'm more able now. that's cool. You know, that's really cool that they have that option. There's no FOMO to it at all. Which is also it's good because like, don't you want money? You know, a lot of studios just have setups like this, and then you can't upgrade, and it's like I don't. I thought the whole point was you were trying to coax money out of me, you know, but not that it's about that in this case necessarily, but I mean I guess it kind of is. But I you know, all in good faith, in my opinion. I'd like to highlight this bit here. Some parts of the game will feel behind, but momentum is strong. I think it is extremely clear from the way that Simon has been talking. They are working at kind of a crazy pace. Things seem to be coming together very fast, and I think it's, you know, I mean, on some level, it's probably a bit of a honeymoon phase. Burnout will occur, but I think there's so much passion behind this. That momentum is going to keep going after early access launch. So, like, yeah, you know, they got basically a month and a half to try and get this into as good of a state as they possibly can. But then they have even more time after that where they can keep working away and plugging away and get it into an even better state and an even better state and an even better state. And, you know, if the game doesn't suit your fancy when the early access drops on January 13th, come back a couple months later and it might be in an even better state. Just given how fast things have been going so far, you know? And I mean, sure, after probably like 10 months, maybe it slows down a little bit, but they're still going to keep just chugging away at this thing, you know? And I think that's really reassuring. Everything I've seen in that regard has been really reassuring. And some parts of the game being behind, that's fine, man. I'm very much happy just if I can break blocks and I can place them, that's enough. I remember back in the day when I couldn't afford Minecraft because I was, 10. And, this was around the time of like 1.1, 1.2. This is very early in Minecraft's history. I wasn't able to get the game, and nobody really knew what Minecraft was. So when I asked my dad for it, he was like, I don't know. It looks a little weird. I don't really have a lot of money to throw around. And I was like, oh. But I found the free version that was basically just the alpha, which was kind of just like creative mode. Like, oh, here's a dozen blocks. You can break them and place them, and it's a tiny little square world. It's still randomly generated, but it's pretty basic. And I would just sit there day after day for 2-3 weeks, just building little houses. I was so excited to show everybody in my family, hey, look at the house I made! Look at the house I made! And when I finally convinced my dad, after probably showing him the 30th house I had built, and he was just like, all right, fine, yeah, where's my credit card? I got the game, and of course I loved it because I was 10 and Minecraft was the hottest new thing ever, and I was the first person I knew to get into it, and it was beautiful, but that period where I was just building the houses, man, that was great too. I was totally content. That was a really fun time because it was just a cool idea. And given, there was a certain freshness to it. Voxel games weren't really a thing at that point. I'm sure if you dug, you could find a couple others, but it was really the first of its kind. This is still a voxel game, so you don't really have that same... It's not an entirely new genre, but it's still a new game, and there is so much more to it than that alpha Minecraft build. I think that's pretty clear. That I just think, even if the team isn't entirely 100% confident in the state it's in, I am, I'm going to have fun with this no matter what. But, it is what it is. If it's a little bit behind, I'm okay with it. It'll get there. I'll keep playing it either way, and if I want to alternate between this and another game, I'll do that. But I'm still going to have it involved. I've been waiting for 7 years. I'm not about to drop it just because it ain't quite what I thought it would be yet, I also think this bit right here is interesting. This is a good moment for modders, server owners, and creators to step in early. Obviously, when it says creators, I don't know if he means content creators per se, but I do think this is a really exciting element of Hytale. It's a really, really big deal even if it hasn't fully gotten back into the mainstream yet, it's gonna be huge. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be on January 13th, it might not even be in 2026, but at some point, this is gonna blow up big time. And I think it's gonna be cool that, you know, all of us that have been patiently waiting, we're here now, you know, and we're gonna be here later. It's cool to think, because Minecraft, you know, I mean, like I said, I got in around like 1.1, 1.2, and I was also a child. This is different. It's a new opportunity, and I know I've been talking about Minecraft a lot, but it's always hard not to compare the two. It's kind of inevitable, but it's a really exciting time to be getting into this ecosystem and to be getting into this game. I think it's just super cool, and getting into creating stuff in the game, it's really exciting. I think there's a lot of good tools here, way more than I thought there were going to be, especially the way Simon had been talking about it. I am flabbergasted, and I'm going to have to make something. I mean, sheesh. Hearing about the way the instances and everything work, that alone is super cool. I've never seen a game try to attempt something like that, so I think that's going to be big. And then the last important thing here is just that last line. Thank you everyone for your support. Hytale has been through a long journey, and soon we will be home. I think that's nice. That's a nice note to close on. Because at the end of the day, in a very literal sense, this game wouldn't exist without the community. And it's hilarious to see such a strong community, a strong and organized and passionate community for a game that not only hasn't released, but has been in development hell for getting close to a decade. Even that's pretty rare, even almost as rare as the conversion from indie to AAA back to indie. The community pretty much bullied Simon into saving the game in more ways than one, not just from cancellation, but from what it had become. Also notably, you can see here Simon pretty much copying the blog post / letter over here as a tweet, which is nice to see. And he's doing it as a quote retweet of the official account, sharing the same news. It's it's just very surreal just to see tweets from the Hytale account. I don't know, it's a very strange thing, but it's very cool. It's very cool. This is an image I dreamt of for a long time as a teenager, and now I'm a whole grown adult seeing this. I wish I could go back in time and talk to my younger self and say, hey, don't give up hope. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna come out. Because here we are, and it is, and it's pretty awesome, man. It's pretty awesome. Thank you, Simon, and the whole Hypixel team. There's no words sufficient to explain how magical and rare and unbelievable this story has been, nor how excited I and so many others are to finally see that original trailer vision come to fruition. So, I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely going to be there on January 13th. I'm going to go into my plans for when the game comes out in a short video soon. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. It's probably going to be the third time I said that this video. But I will be going into it in a video at some point soon. But yeah, it's pretty exciting, and I'm definitely going to pre-order when those go up. So, alright, that'll do it for this one, though. I hope you guys liked this video. I just thought I'd make a quick little something to go over the release date. There's not a whole lot to talk about per se, but don't worry, we got a lot of stuff in the pipeline. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Try to get more content out to you guys. Alright, well, I'll catch you guys in the next one.